Hello everyone, welcome to the channel again. Today we got a great update for you on Project Bernstep. In the last video, we show you all the work we did up to the ground floor level, that is the casting of the slab. In this video, this is a continuation of all the stuff that we've been doing in the last couple of months, finishing the ground floor, and then we also go through all the changes that the client has requested that we have made. That's actually delayed a couple of weeks, but we currently ready for the decking. As you can see now, that is the current state ready for the decking. So we'll go through the video and we'll tell you all that we've done, how we go, where we are, and then the new design. So this is just an area view of the current situation. In this video, you can see on the left side, we got a carport. On the right side, you go at the bedroom, and then there is a tennis room towards the back. In terms of size, this house, the current size is 600 square meters or 6,458 square foot. Uh, in case you watched the first video and took some notes in terms of the area and wondering why is what I'm saying now is different from those before, it's because the client has requested some changes to the tennis room. The tennis room have been made bigger, and then the room upstairs, which used to be a gym, is now a bedroom, and then the additional space is used to get a bigger walk-in wardrobe. Before we go into today's video, if you are one of the 75% of regular people who watch our videos but have not yet subscribed, please, it's free to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get notification once we post any video. Also on our channel, we got different videos on some of the property we're working on, and we got playlists on different stages of work. So in case you about to start or you are around the same stages of this project, please like, share to anyone who you think will find this useful. Thank you. Okay, let's get into today's video. We start by looking at the setting out. This is the first stage of the block work after the slab is casted. Uh, this is one of the most important stages, and on this particular day here, we have the client on site, and also, as you will see earlier in the video, the architects also were on site just to check the dimension to make sure everything it is uh, as it's supposed to be. This is very crucial stage because this is where you need to ensure that your DPC is correctly laid. Everything is just need to be properly done at this stage. You don't want columns sticking out of block work. You don't want anything out of place. You got to check dimensions, print the drawings out properly, and make sure things are just done as it's meant to be. So what we're doing here is laying the first course of block work. We wanted to form all the rooms before the client comes to site later, so that if there is any changes they want to make, then those can be discussed with the architect, the structural engineer to make those changes. So those are very important that you do the first course of the block work, confirm with the client if they are happy, because what we have learned over the years is that not everyone is in construction, not everyone understand the dimensions on the drawing, how those relates to the ground. So one of the things we do for our clients who are not in the country at this stage is to send them videos after we do the setting out, lay the first two courses of block work. This is very important because it's not everyone who is in construction who understand how 5 meters by 5 meters looks like, or how 20 foot by 15 foot looks like in reality. So when this setting out is done, very early on, we send you a video to say these are the sizes as we transfer from the drawing. Are you happy with it? In some cases, people will say, no, I want the bathroom to be a bit bigger, or no, I want the kitchen to be a bit bigger, or that window there, I want the window to be this side, or I want the door to be this side. I don't like 2 feet 6 doors. I want 3 foot doors. I want 1 meter doors. And all those changes are incorporated at this stage before we move on. So once the client is happy with all the layout, effectively everything is set in stone, we began to raise the block work quickly. It's also very important that at this stage, whoever is leading your project, either your mason, your project manager, your builder, whoever it is, ensure that they have bought the right specification uh, DPC, because this needs to be laid before you begin raising the blockware. Otherwise, in future, you'll get problem with rising them. We get so many inquiries from people who said, do we need to use DPC because our builder said, no, that where we are building, there's no water here. It's a very good ground place. It is part of the building regulations in Ghana that you use DPM and DPC. So as you can see, we now have our architects from Amphi and Associates who are here today on the day of the setting out to check the dimensions to make sure everything is as to be. It's important to know that the original design we began with was not by Amphi Associate, but they have improved upon the existing layout, remove inefficiencies, have completely changed the design. I know in the first video we talk about, if you want to see what we started with, put a comment. But as I said, the building is completely different from what we started with. There is so many efficiency in terms of the spaces. So yeah, it's been a great turnaround by them, and a big shout out to them for the good work they continue to do. One of the things to look for in terms of the design is how efficient the design is. We've seen so many designs which are very, very inefficient. We see designs whereby the terrace spaces are larger than the actual usable spaces in the house. So in those instances, if you do the cost per square meter and you compare it to project A to project B, C, the number of projects when you do the benchmarking, you find out that in terms of cost per square meter, that building is substantially more because every single terrace you have, you need iron rod, you need cement, you need formwork, it looks nice, but it's important to look about to focus on the efficiency of the design, the usable space uh, are very, very, very important. But your key cost drivers is the external envelope of the building. So if you got a very, very large building with 360 um, terraces compared to somebody who just have a small terraces, you you could have the same usable space internally. You could have four-bedroom house, but somebody who have terraces everywhere, that building will be more expensive than a building which has just a small terrace. So it's very, very important to look at the full print of the whole building, the envelope, because every single element of it, you need materials. Just the list just goes on all the things you need in order to finish that envelope. So it's important as well as focusing on either you want two bed, three bed, four bed, also the overall envelopes. If you have if you have complex design features, a lot of walls here, a lot of arches here, a lot of angles here, all those things drive the cost. So it's very, very important that you just don't focus on the two bed, three bed rooms, but also the envelope, how the building look like. So in all our videos, in all our estimate, we try to tell you what is your gross internal area, what is your net internal area, and what is your external envelope of the building. And the external envelope, that is what the planners, when you go for permit, that's what they use to calculate your permit. Uh, but it's also equally important to know to say if I'm building 10,000 square foot house, what is the actual usable space of that building? That is where the cost drivers are very, very important. So you can see that this is what day two of laying the blocks. What we tend to do is to focus on, after the setting up, focus on one side, bring those to just about window level. Then you go and work on the older one because you cannot raise the blocks uh, continuously without letting it to settle and dry before you continue. So after this level, they will go to the other side, work on the other side for next 2 days, and they'll come back here to begin to form the windows. So this is by the end of the second day. This is where we are effectively. We have formed rooms before where the staircase is going to be. In this building, the staircase is going to be made of a steel staircase, fabricated steel staircase. So there's no concrete step in this. Originally, in the design, in the back of this staircase, there was a toilet there. But when the design was being revised, there was a request to have the tenants room more larger, and then that WC space was brought into the room at the front, which is a better design than originally. So where we're looking now, that is the tenants room being formed. On the right hand side, that is the living, it's an open living and dining area. There's a separate living room, but that is also have the potential to be converted into a bedroom. There is a WC that has to be also incorporated, attached to it. So effectively on the ground floor, you got two bedrooms on the ground floor. One is to be kind of a living stroke bed, whatever the client chooses to use that space for. So this is the front side of the house. On the left side is where the entrance is. This is a design feature which Amphi has brought in, which completely changing the front facade. Because the facade were quite straight, there was no actual character of the facade. But these elements here, as you can see on the image on the screen, has completely changed the facade from all angles. Everything has been completely changed. You barely, there is no element here in terms of the facade which was as originally intended, because the clients want something that will be the wow factor. And on the basis that the foundations have been dug or everything based on the original design before, the client wanted to make this radical changes, I would say, in terms of the facade, in terms of the room layouts, and all those things. A lot of work has been got into this to make sure that the that we're working on with the existing foundation, and the output is just fun, amazing to see. If you look at what originally it was and what the design it is now, um, it's just so amazing of what you, if you get the right team, you get the right designer. If you are building your dream house, you can't go and do it on a cheap side in terms of the design. uh, it's so amazing anytime uh, you see where we started from in terms of the design and where we are now. It's just so great to see that the importance of having the right team on board. So this side of the house is where the garage will be. So it's an open carport. So you come in here, then there's a door to go to the back of the house. So the land, as we talked in the last video, this land, um, the land is higher at the back, and then slopes toward the front. So there's gonna be a filling. All these levels has all been checked already. The updated 3D that you see at the beginning of the video has all been adjusted to match the ground level. So if we finish a house, effectively what you see in the 3D is exactly what we're going to get, because all has been uh, the ground level has been now being factored into the 3D as well. So where we are now, where our four-man party is working, is the tennis room extension. Originally, this side was part of the terrace, but the client had decided to move the wall back here to have a bigger room. Apparently, there are different dimensions, specific requirement of these rooms in terms of what type of games you can have. So, yeah, as I said, if you're building, you want to make the changes, you just got to go with your guts, speak to the designer, speak to the contractor, and make sure that change is being incorporated. There's no need to finish your house to say, oh, I wish I've done this, because you're gonna be living here. And what we always talk to people when they come to us for design, before we approach AMV and associate, is to say, what is your design brief? What are specific things do you want in your house? What, how do you currently live? Because you're gonna be using that space day in, day out. So don't be scared to make the changes. Changes, it costs money, uh, and delays the construction process. But if you, that is what is gonna make you feel happy and live in that house, and don't to have a second house. I wish I've done this place. Just go ahead with it. Speak to the team and make sure those changes are effected before the work proceeds. Even when we're building our own house, we've done changes. There were things we sat down, me and Nikki, we sat down. Nikki drew the plans, but when we began to uh, build, there were changes that we made. We made bathrooms bigger. Uh, we made things that we things will add more value to the way we use those spaces. So it's very important that you constantly be involved in the build process. You are building your own house from the scratch, and it's good to lay your marks on it. It's not a developer whereby you're building off plan. So please, just ask questions. If something doesn't look right, we always say this: ask the builder, ask questions. Oh, is this meant to be here? I don't understand. We constantly do videos, specific videos for our clients, whereby we overlay with voice notes to explain certain things to them, to make sure get be part of the building process, get what we are doing, because you are building this first hand. You are, most people, this is the first house they'll build, and even the last. So it's important that they understand the process. You are not building off plan, whereby you cannot make changes. You can incorporate those changes uh, to meet your specific requirements. Because let's say you start, by the time you start building and by the time you finish, which could be 2 3 years for most people, or even 5, things changes, design changes, your aspiration changes. So it's good to make sure that you have those discussions. It's difficult discussion to have with your builder and your design team to make those changes. But if that is what's going to make you live in that house comfortably, not to look at that wall, we wish you didn't have that wall there, or we wish we had a window through here. Please don't be scared. Just go on and make those changes. Those communication, speaking to the team is very, very vital to ensure that you get an output that you are happy to use as your home. So what Sahih is doing here, Sahih is Mike is sending me a videos, because we do this quite often, reviewing what we're doing. Because as most of you know, I'm not uh, on the ground, so we're doing a video. So what he's doing here is explaining to me. We're trying to find the distance between each of the doors. So there are full height glazed doors here. So where Sahil's house is now, because you see, we set the ring gutter away from the column, so we try to set that we can still get the same size of the door, which is 10 foot between each of the columns. So this is what they're doing now, showing me, explaining to me in a video that this is the dimension for this two set of doors. So when you walk into the house from the front, you see through to the garden, look at the pool house, everything. When you're coming for the barbecue, you know where the party is once you come to the house. That flow is very important when you design a house. That you your designers will talk you through those processes. So the column over there is now condemned because the redesign makes that we don't need that column. A new column was introduced uh, to that space. Again, it's checking dimensions again, making sure everything we're doing is as per the drawings. We factor in where our door size, window sizes will be. Mike is telling me that is where the column is after we cast the column, and also this is the width of our column, and also that's the door. So this kind of check and balances is what me and mine, we do all the time to make sure everything we're doing is exactly as it is to be. So after we've done all these things, everything is built, then the model get updated to based on the as built. So it's not just that we're doing uh, pre-construction stuff. What is meant to be, the model also get um, updated. But it's, as I said, it's additional cost of doing that because you need to have a team on board whereby you got to ask them to be updating the model. It's just like if you're working on a big construction project, your BIM model get constantly updated as the design changes. Uh, but it's a cost to have a BIM manager. It's not any different to what is happening here. So if you want the model to be updated based on what is being happening on the ground, incorporating all the changes, then you need to pay for that to be done. There are people who don't mind. They just want, they don't need the as built to be accurate at the taste. They just want the changes to be incorporated as they go. But if you want the model, the drawings, everything to be updated as you go, there's a cost associated with that. So here we are, you can see all the columns have been casted, all those measurements we're doing, everything now. It comes perspective, you can now visualize better, see those spaces that we were talking about when things were just blocked. There were no columns between them. So you can now effectively see uh, all the works that the teams have been doing for a couple of weeks, I think a few months, I would say, because the rain this year has been very, very bad. Uh, there are some days you can't even lay blocks at all. Um, but yeah, we managed through, and we are where we are currently. One of the also things we have also brought into this is the clients requested a 10-foot clear ceiling that requires increasing the the, the the block work so that when we finish, um, your your ceiling will cover all the beams. Traditionally, for me particularly, I don't mind seeing beams in the rooms. I'll just put that into my ceiling design. But there are some people who don't want to see the beams, particularly if the grid and stuff are all over the place, which was in case in the original design. So the client doesn't want to see beams not be in the center of the room, for instance. So we have raised the the structure design updated accordingly. So if we finish our finish height, I mean when your ceiling is in your tiles is in, we should have a clear height of 10 foot on the ground floor. So we're just gonna have a quick walk through the spaces to see the different spaces uh, and how they look like after everything has now been enclosed. So we are now in the bedrooms on the ground floor. When you come into the house on the right hand side, there's a bedroom, and then you got your toilets and your walk-in closet on the ground floor. I have a question. Why is it that all almost all toilets windows in Ghana are small? I don't know. But we did it ourselves. We have our windows small. And then last time me and Nikki was saying we wish you had it bigger. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Anyone? Any ideas? So we're back to the living area. The wall on the right here is where the TV will be. This is the living area. On the left side where the camera is spanning, that is where the kitchen will be. There is a door to the back. So thank you for sticking around. If you are still here, please comment, like, and share to anyone who you think they'll find this video useful. It's been great working with the teams on the ground, Amphion Associates, and our structural engineer, the same teams again, delivering another great fantastic building here. And I'll say a big thank you also to the clients who are on the ground, keeping us on our toes. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye for now.